Hello to everyone attending virtually this session of the Interest 2020 conference. It is a pleasure to be part of this session, and I want to thank the organizing committee for allowing us to connect virtually to share our recent findings in the field of HIV research in Africa. I will present today our recent work on the cost utility of dolutegravir versus low-dose efavirenz as first-line HIV treatment in Cameroon. This study is part of the NAMSAL trial, which is financed by the French Agency for Research on AIDS and Viral Hepatitis and by UNICEF. Until 2019, the preferred first-line regimen for treating HIV in low and middle-income countries was a 600 milligrams efavirenz-based regimen. However, concerns were raised about its association with adverse neurosensory outcomes and about its low genetic barriers. As of the last WHO guidelines for low and middle-income countries, the preferred first-line antiretroviral treatment is now a regimen based on dolutegravir 50 milligrams. Dolutegravir is a new integrase inhibitor, which is superior to efavirenz 600 milligrams in terms of viral suppression and immunological recovery. Additional advantages of dolutegravir include its high genetic barrier to resistance and its availability in a low-cost fixed-dose combination. However, concerns have been raised about its safety during preconception and pregnancy and about its tolerability because of the associated risk of insomnia and obesity. The alternative regimen is a low-dose efavirenz-based regimen, which is efavirenz 400 milligrams instead of 600 milligrams. Efavirenz 400 milligrams is non-inferior to efavirenz 600 milligrams in terms of efficacy and has a better safety profile. What about the previous findings on the cost effectiveness of dolutegravir versus efavirenz in sub-Saharan Africa? Well, we identified 3 modeling studies which are based on the same individual-based simulation model, and altogether, the 3 studies found that dolutegravir was cost-effective compared with efavirenz. However, we did not find any study in sub-Saharan Africa analyzing patient-reported outcomes or the cost-effectiveness of dolutegravir versus a low-dose efavirenz-based regimen. Also of note, there was no study based on individual-level data from a randomized clinical trial. Our study is part of the NAMSAL trial, which was conducted among 613 HIV-1 positive and treatment-naive adults in Cameroon. Participants were randomly assigned to receive either dolutegravir 50 milligrams or low-dose efavirenz once daily. Both drugs were combined with tenofovir and lamivudine. The clinical visits were scheduled at baseline and then every 12 weeks. The non-inferiority of dolutegravir has been established in the 48-week study published last year, and the clinical results based on the first 2 years of the trial, which have been published last October, confirm the non-inferiority of dolutegravir. The results also showed that dolutegravir was associated with a lower proportion of virological failure. In the present study, we compared the economic value of dolutegravir versus low-dose efavirenz. This is the first study comparing the economic value of these 2 regimens, which are both recommended in the last WHO guidelines. The data on clinical outcome and medical resources that we use are close to real-world healthcare delivery in sub-Saharan Africa, and the data on cost have been collected prospectively and from the perspective of the Cameroonian health system. We took into account the patient's point of view by assessing patient-reported outcomes. Among these outcomes, we considered physical and mental health, perceived symptoms related to HIV, as well as depression, anxiety, and stress. We used QALYs, which is the preferred health outcome measure in health economic evaluation. I will now summarize the main findings. So the patient-reported outcomes improved over follow-up, mainly during the first 48 weeks of the trial, but without significant differences between arms at 2 years. In the base case analysis, the dolutegravir-based regimen was cost-effective with a probability of 85% at the threshold of $500 per QALY gain and using a discount factor of 3%. The greater economic value of dolutegravir was confirmed in several scenario analyses. In these scenarios, we considered alternative discount factors. We also considered the intention to treat population, and we considered the subgroup of patients with high baseline viral load. Finally, the extrapolation of cost and health outcomes over 10 and 15 years indicated that the dolutegravir-based regimen would be cost-effective with a probability higher than 95%. This was due to the lower virological failure risk and lower acquired drug resistance observed in the dolutegravir arm than in the low-dose efavirenz arm. So the cost-effectiveness price threshold analysis is shown here. It indicates which regimen would be preferred at the threshold of $500 per quali, and for any price combination of dolutegravir and low-dose efavirenz, both as fixed-dose combinations. So the price combinations on the hollow circle line would make dolutegravir cost-effective with a probability of 95%. Any price combination on the solid triangle line would make low-dose efavirenz cost-effective with a probability of 95%. And the solid circle line in the middle depicts the price combination for which both strategies have the same probability of being cost-effective, all other things being equal. So we see that the solid blue square represents the current price combination of both regimens. That is $5.2 per month for dolutegravir and $5.4 per month for low-dose efavirenz. And as was found in our base case analysis, this price combination corresponds to dolutegravir being cost-effective with a probability of 85%. Now, we see that, for instance, the dolutegravir-based regimen would be preferred with a probability of 95% if its own price decreased from $5.2 per month to $4.7 per month, all other things being equal. And this corresponds to a 10% decrease in the price of dolutegravir. So, to sum up, this analysis brings valuable information about optimal treatment strategies, given that antiretroviral drug prices are always fluctuating. Altogether, this study brings new evidence on the greater economic value of a dolutegravir-based regimen compared with a low-dose efavirenz-based regimen in treatment-naive HIV patients in sub-Saharan Africa. These findings support the choice made by the WHO in its 2019 guidelines. So with that, I will end my presentation here and pass it over to the session chair. Thank you again for attending this session.